Hello? Hi, it's me, CryptoClick. Yeah, I notice you're trading on crypto exchanges, but without any benefits at all? That's madness. You know, I've been made an affiliate partner with pretty much every exchange out there, so if you want to get some benefits, you might as well set up exchanges with the links that I've got in the video description or in my Telegram and Discord. You can get welcome bonuses for signing up, or even better, up to 20% off all your trading fees for life. Yeah, I know, what a treat. So next time you fancy setting up an exchange, use some of the links that I've got in my video description, because otherwise you're mugging yourself off. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the video. Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin dominance chart, just a bit of an overview, blanket way to look at it. For those of you who don't know about Bitcoin dominance, which I'm sure most of you do, if you watch my channel you probably do, because it's a chart that I've used to make the most out of the crypto market, whether you're in a bull market, bear market or a sideways market. Absolutely killer chart to look at. Although it's not very old. I mean, it does go back all the way over here to 2014 when things like Ethereum and XRP existed, but Bitcoin was the big behemoth that it was back then, and it continues to be more or less. But for the most part, we've been down now on the Bitcoin dominance chart since our last revisiting of the 73% area since December 2021. So we've been down for quite a long period of time. Now, I wouldn't really think about any of this area of the chart being that relevant, to be honest with you, because altcoins weren't really anything. Trading exchanges were small and not really very good. And since 2018, altcoins started to emerge out of the woodwork all over the place. There's altcoins all over the place. Even I've got an altcoin, right? Everybody's got one. They're everywhere. And so the dominance inevitably is going to subside and give way to some of these. Now, most of these altcoins, including mine, basically have no value, right? Why should they? But there are some of them that do deserve them, and will probably continue to absorb more and more of that market cap, because blockchain itself, forgetting about the cryptocurrencies within them, but the blockchain itself is probably a technology that's going to be around for a little while, right? I couldn't put my finger on how long it'll exist for, but 10, 20 years before something else, you know, just makes it, you know, just leaves it all behind, you know, or quantum computers become like a major thing, and so it renders the majority of blockchains kind of obsolete, because the quantum computing is just too powerful to and it just slice right through a blockchain, you know, in a drop of a hat. But all of that is a little way off. So blockchain, I think, is here to stay for at least another 10 years or so. And will probably be built on more and more and more, making it more and more secure. And I don't know, but anyway, blockchain is here to stay. And within that is cryptocurrencies and things like Ethereum. If you can look at Ethereum, the best way to think about it is like a major index, isn't it? It's almost like an index in itself. It's like the Nasdaq of crypto. All these DeFi coins within it. You know, Ethereum basically slicing little, you know, skimming off the top of each one of them. And then you've got all these other layer ones on top of that. Then you've got this whole Web3, whether or not that takes off. Then you've got the meta. All of this is going to absorb market cap. So what I'm saying is that this portion of the chart is the most relevant part. And so this is the part that we'll focus on. Not so much any of this, but from here onwards, right? And so I think it's unreasonable to imagine that Bitcoin dominance is going to reach up to these high levels again, because Bitcoin itself is what it is, and it will be what it will be. And although more money will go into it, the development on it is not going to be as aggressive as these, well, let's just call them the layer ones, you know, the big ones, the ones which have huge amount of development. The blockchains are around to stay. They're trying to solve real problems, and if they do utilize or tap into some of these major industries like data consumption, data management, metaverse, you name it, you know, there's a token for all of it. And the reach is enormous, never mind the financial side of things. So let's just say XRP manages to achieve its holy grail, or whoever else does that. Do you know what I mean? This is multi-trillion dollars. Doesn't mean that their market caps will go to trillions of dollars. It just means that they can tap into a multi-trillion dollar industry. And so by default, you'd imagine if they can skim off the top of a multi-trillion dollar industry, you know, the market caps will be big. So with that said, you can still trade this chart. This chart is mostly going to be a horizontal formation. So we're going to be looking at supports and resistances historically since this level. And with that, it makes it actually quite easy. So I made a video, about 4 or 5 weeks ago, saying that we're going to get a small rotation. We managed to get one at this very first level. It was like 48% dominance, basically, more or less, and we killed it. We made a 50% gain on our bitcoins that we put in. We traded X amount of bitcoins, and we got 50% return on that in the space of about 2 weeks. So it can even be done in a bear market. It worked perfectly fine. In a bull market, it can be very aggressive. So if you're thinking about where to make altcoin trades, it really is a simple matter of support and resistance on this dominance chart. And then, you know, we're looking at it here on a monthly. I'll bring it down to a weekly. And we are inevitably, in my opinion, inevitably going to be breaking out and moving up higher, probably towards the upper 50s, towards the 60s. And you just simply go back and have a look at where is support, where is resistance, which ones were the most tagged areas, whether it's support or resistance. When we revisit those areas again, we will likely to get what's known as a rotation out of a Bitcoin into some altcoins. Then you navigate through all the altcoins that you like to trade, see which ones marry with supports, resistances of their own, good setups, bullish divergences, reclaiming of moving averages, all the normal stuff you'd look at, and then go, right, let's time this, let's part with some Bitcoins, put them into some altcoins, and we'll be looking to multiply by X amount. And the rule of thumb is the higher the dominance chart, the higher the resistance, the bigger the alt season. So we got a small one here. I did say in the beginning, I said, look, anything from between 10 to 50% is the target. We managed to get 50% across the board, more or less. There's only one that only did 40%. But we managed to get the top targets, and that's just in this little piece of an area. When we made the rotation over here, which is such an obvious area, you can see historically these areas support, resistance, and then this one, it was just such an obvious trade. This is where the big alt season took place. You know, all the people who are new to crypto or came in 2021 and that's what they thought crypto was. It's not. We've been waiting for this area to get tagged. When it finally got tagged, it was time to go to the bank. Basically, we were making so much money so fast, because this is the perfect setup for an altcoin trade. And you just move out of your bitcoins. Bitcoin had already gone up 300%. We took that Bitcoin that had gone up 300% in 3 months and we put it into altcoins, which effectively some of them went, 1,000% or more in, well, just in a few months themselves. So we went from an appreciating Bitcoin value, thank you very much, I'll move into some altcoins now. Bang, all the way, thousands of percents basically made in such a small period of time. You make the best of both worlds. You trade Bitcoin, you hold it till it reaches its peak, then you move into altcoins as they are on the ground floor, literally waiting to be bought, and you buy them. And most people look at these things and they get in, they FOMO, and that FOMO, that helps us because we've navigated this chart sometimes years in advance, waiting for that opportunity to trade. So what we're looking at now is obviously we're looking at the chances are we are going to be making a big breakout. We think about what this looked like in the past. This is the bear market beginnings of 2018. The bear market went all the way from the bottom all the way to the top. I don't think we'll be seeing something like this. I think we'll be seeing a smaller version of that, but the reads are the same. We've got monthly MACD positive cross. We've got a monthly MACD positive cross. Where were we at the same time that monthly positive cross took place? We were here. So if that's the case, we were July, we were halfway through the bear market really, weren't we? So we bubble popped in December, halfway through, and then we started the bull market around April 2019, so we were halfway through. So this marks more or less halfway through as well, so we're halfway through the bear market. I predict the bear market to end by the end of this year, some point in Q4, September, October, November. And if that continues to move all crypto down, most of the time altcoins outperform the downside. They amplify whatever Bitcoin is doing on to the downside. So we've got the same sort of read as the halfway through point, a MACD cross. That we didn't see a MACD cross to the downside until this moment here, which is a bit of a non-event, but it did come down to a support and move back up again. But the point I'm trying to make here is that rhythm on quite an early chart really, we've got a full cycle's worth of history, we've gone back to square one. We are more or less now at where we were here, where the chart started to become actually relevant and tradable. Now we've got all these levels above us and below us that we can take on for the next bull market and looking for the next alt seasons. And there'll be multiple alt seasons. You usually get one really good alt season every year, at least one really good one, you know, where you start, where you can do the 10x's and the 20x's and whatnot on the major exchanges. You can do all of that, usually once a year. And then once every, well, normally at the bull market peak, that's where you do your thousands of percents, you know, multiple thousands of percents. Expecting multiple thousands of percents while the dominance chart is so low is pretty unrealistic. We would be expecting us to move up. And like I say, we had a low here, we had a higher low here, we had a high over here, but nowhere near as high as it was before. So we are really expecting to have a lower high as well form. So I think that the overall destination for this Bitcoin dominance chart throughout this, you know, this last stages of the bear market, these next 3, 4, 5 months or whatever, is we're probably going to make our way up to around 57, 58 to maybe 60. I don't think we're going to go any higher than that because of all these major blockchains with huge market caps, which will continue to get big because they are solving real problems. I don't like talking of the technology, but you have to think about it in reality. You know, they are working blockchains. They've got a number of things going on them, and they can only really get bigger because the utilization of those blockchains, the utility of them, will benefit the wider world as soon as it gets accepted. And it will get accepted. It's just, at the moment, we're just moving out of the speculation phase, and this is almost like the emerging tech giants that came out of the dot-com bubble. They all crashed, they all burned, and then through you know, when finally things came out of that, you found your Googles, your Apples, your Amazons, and all these lot. These are the sort of things that are going to happen for blockchain, and with that, the market cap was going to stay low. It's not going to go back up to 70% again. We'll be seeing maybe the lower 60s at best. So I urge you to get familiar with this chart in preparation for the next bull market, because like I say, you normally get three. You normally get a 3 big alt seasons within every bull market cycle. So that's roughly 1 big alt season every year. We might not be expecting one this year, although, you know, we've had a little bit of one recently, but that's nothing because this is a bear market. But once we emerge and enter the bull markets again, we will likely be getting them. And the obvious places are from horizontal resistances like these, and like I say, it's as simple as that. Just buying into altcoins randomly can be fine if you're doing fundamental research, or you certainly believe in something, or you don't think it's going to go to zero, and you're happy to hold from lower prices, because again, you know, you will certainly win that way as well, as long as you've picked back to the right horse. But if you're looking to make trades on a rotation basis, making the most out of the Bitcoin side of things and the altcoin side of things, you do have to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, really. People don't think it's relevant, but it is. Because if it wasn't relevant, we wouldn't have been able to make that 50% gain just recently in the bear market. You know, we did that based on the Bitcoin dominance chart. Simple as that. So, you know, people think, you know, it's a non-trading event down in these low levels with in a bear market, but 50% gains in 2 weeks is not nothing. That's decent, and we did it. It's all documented on the channel. So I suggest you have a little look at it and always monitor the situation. If you ever want to buy an altcoin, have a think about what the altcoin and Bitcoin dominance chart is going to do. And if you ever want to buy an altcoin, you're looking for some big gains, you'll be looking to do it at higher levels. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. Hopefully it'll be something you can take on board and use, you know, to your own success. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.